it serves as an intercalary asterism. So it's 20th. So modern perspective में if you are trying to observe now, these are the IAU boundaries. जो blue boundaries you are trying to see, these are the International Astronomical Union boundaries, and you just map up into the sky. आपके not on maps जो astronomy के हमारे होते हैं, आप देखिए इस समय, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल ओरायन इस समय काफी अच्छा, आप देखिए फर्स्ट रो 1 2 3 4 5 फिफ्थ, first row, fifth and sixth. You see Orion is there in the sky, very much prominently visible, especially in the northern latitudes. You just go, you will easily find Mrigashira and Ardra Nakshatra by seeing the combination of this. You see where is somewhere down the line, and then Ardra. So what you have to do is basically you have to see this lambda and Orionis, and then Ardra you have to see Alhena. So these two, and even Punarvasu, Castor and Pollux. So these are the you see the nakshatra. So you can easily observe this nakshatra very easily. So whatever is there in the calendrical time mapping, you see how the nakshatra have been dealt with the time mapping. So one nakshatra 13 degree 20 minute means the time spent by moon in one day. तो अब आप सोचिए कि इवन जो हमारा दिन है, वट एवर द डे दैट वी आर ऑब्जर्विंग, डे मीन्स लूनर डे, चंद्रमा का जो दिन है उसको भी हम लोग आसमान में देख सकते हैं, वी कैन इजीली ऑब्जर्व. So these are the same 27 nakshatra in the Indian traditions. And then it can very beautifully be calculated in terms of modern mathematics. Especially people say ना कि इतना सब बोला, क्या आप उसको मॉडर्न मैथमेटिक्स से कर सकते हैं क्या? ये कि अगर मैं आपको कुछ लॉन्जिट्यूड दे दूं, कुछ दे दूं, तो यस, बेसिकली वेरी इजीली दे कैन बी कैलकुलेटेड, बिकॉज you see there is no ceiling function or greatest integer function. So we really can calculate if we know the longitude of the moon and longitude of the sun, and then we calculate the difference between them and express them in 0 to 360-degree format. This can be a very good project for especially our university students if you try to see the index formula, and then you can just see where the sun is rising, where the moon is rising. अगर आपका मान लीजिए कि मोनोलॉजी में सन 15 डिग्री टॉरस एंड मून इज एट 27 डिग्री जेमिनाई, without knowing anything else, a formula with proper greatest integer function and little bit of difference calculation, class 10th mathematics or 11th mathematics, you can just say it's a Shukla Chaturthi, and how many, whether we are in the waxing phase of the moon, waning phase of the moon, and how many days into the phase of the moon. So this is a very beautiful thing that really can be done. So Indian astronomy is relevant in terms of the modern mathematics as well. आप modern mathematics की अगर आप terms में बात करें, सीइंग कि किस राशि में आपका सूर्य है, किस राशि में चंद्रमा है और कितनी डिग्री पर है, किस राशि में, अगर आपको यह पता है तो आप पक्ष और आप तिथि बता सकते हैं बाय यूजिंग मैथमेटिक्स. आपको जरूरत भी नहीं चीजों को देखने. सो दिस इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ द इंडियन कैलेंड्रिकल सिस्टम. अब चूंकि समय आगे बढ़ता जा रहा है तो आई विल जस्ट, मैं आपसे कहूंगा कि इन डेट्स को और देखिए. शुरुआत में मैंने आपको कुछ तारीखें दिखाई थी. आई टोल्ड यू टू ऑब्जर्व अ फ्यू डेट्स. अब इन नाउ यू अगेन ऑब्जर्व दिस डेट्स. व्हाट नॉनसेंस यू मे बी सेइंग अगेन. ये आदमी डेट ही डेट दिखाया जा रहा है. 21 मार्च. एक लिस्ट ये है नीचे की, एक लिस्ट आप सेकंड देखिए. कैन यू मेक ए रिलेशन? तब तक लेट मी हैव ए सिप ऑफ वाटर. कैन यू मेक ए रिलेशन? क्या आपको इसमें कोई रिलेशन नजर आ रहा है? अगेन यू सी, अखबार में कई सारे लोग बाकी कारणों से, बाकी रीजंस की वजह से अखबार पढ़ते हैं सुबह सुबह का पंचांग. बगैर, मैं तो नहीं देखता इस चीज, ऑनेस्टली सेइंग मैं नहीं इस चीज को देखता. वेदर इट्स अमेरिका, वेदर इट्स इंडिया, यू सी lot of people, they do open the moment the newspaper comes. What I personally do is I open the sports page because I am a very good big fan of football, chess and cricket. So मेरा पहला होता है कि मुझको वो देखना है कि आज स्पोर्ट्स में क्या हुआ. लेकिन अगर आप देखिए जनरल टेंडेंसी इंडियन, सबसे पहले आदमी राशिफल देखता है. तो जब आप राशि देखते हैं तो आप देखिए कि दीज डेट्स, नाउ कैन यू कोरिलेट कि मेष लिखा होता है, वृषभ इज रिटन, कर्क इज रिटन, और उसके साथ में कुछ डेट्स होती हैं. तो ये आप ये कह लीजिए कि इंडियन जोडियक का नेम और वेस्टर्न जोडियक का नेम है. और दिस, ये आप ये कह लीजिए कि साइन और निरायन, यहाँ पे दो शब्दों का मैंने इस्तेमाल किया है. वी विल डाइव डीप इफ टाइम परमिट्स. So विजिबल, मतलब सूर्य जो है, जो जोडियक में होता है, दो अलग परंपराओं के हिसाब से आपका कौन सा जोडियक में सूर्य है, सन जो है किस जोडियक के बैकड्रॉप में है, वो इससे नजर आता है। एंड माइंड इट, यहाँ पे केवल 12 लिखे हैं मैंने, because in our audience we have got Dr. Bharat Odur also is here, so he may throw more light on it in the discussion part. 13th zodiac sign is also there. इन 12 zodiac में से जो हमारे यहाँ पे ऑडियंस है, मैं आपके लिए सवाल छोड़ रहा हूँ, आई एम पुटिंग अ क्वेश्चन टू यू, which of the zodiacs has been split into two to make a 13th zodiac by the International Astronomical Union? तो अगर उस हिसाब से देखा जाए, तो अगर मान लीजिए, मैं आई एम सेइंग इन जोकिंगली, कि अगर 13वीं राशि है, एग्जिस्ट करती है, और उसको अगर अडॉप्ट कर लिया जाए, तो एक पर्टिकुलर आज के एग्जिस्टिंग सिस्टम के हिसाब से उस समयावधि में जन्म लिए हुए लोगों का तो कोई भाग्य ही नहीं है, क्योंकि वो राशि एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर रही है 12 राशियों पे। सो नाउ कमिंग फॉरवर्ड, so this is the entire mechanics. This mechanics has been interpreted in two manners. First system is Cyan, tropical zodiac, and second system is Narayan. So we will go into details. And this is a very good, you can say, interpretation of, you can say, interpolation, sorry, not interpretation, interpolation of Indian Nakshatra systems, 27 Nakshatra on the celestial zodiac by Kishore Kumarji. I found it on the internet. So I thought, let me share here that how beautifully the particular circle of Nakshatra, it has been put up by Kishore Kumarji. So, summarizing everything, this is the importance of M factor in the sky. We say na X factor. So in our Indian astronomy, we have got an M factor. That M factor defines a lot of things. Mathematical calculations, it defines in terms of astronomy, how we perceive the celestial circle and how we perceive our dates. And we will see how it affects other things as well. Now, this is another thing. Now, Magha Krishna Treyodashi, these are the old Paush Krishna Treyodashi, Makaram, and Saur Paush 26, 2047. These are the dates of, I think, January 16th. Not today, January 16th, the second slide that I showed you. Okay. So, एक ही दिन में मैंने कहा था यूनिटी डाइवर्सिटी, तो उसका जवाब, the answer to that question, that discussion is in this particular slide. For a few people, 16th January was Magha Krishna Triyodashi. For a few other people, it was Paush Krishna Triyodashi, especially people from Maharashtra and our Andhra regions, it was Paush Krishna Triyodashi. For Kerala people, it was Makaram. For our government servants, it was Saur Paush 1947. So, we calculate, in Indian traditions, the months are being defined in terms of lunar months and the solar months. So in the lunar months, there are two systems that are being followed. One is Amant system and one is Purnimant system. In Vikrami Samvatsar, you remember Vikram Samvat I told you in the beginning. In Vikrami Samvat, it is Purnimant system that is followed. Purnimant means Purnima and Ant. That is the month that ends with Purnima. And then in the Shak Samvatsar, the Shalivahan Shak Samvatsar, which is very much popular below Sahyadri, in the Sahyadri region of India, and where our King Shalivahan ruled and his dynasty ruled, it is Amant system, or sometimes called Amavasyanta system. Now Amant means Amavasya and Ant. It is a combination, Sandhi. So Amavasya, the month that ends with Amavasya, is Amant system. So our Shalivahan Shak Samvatsar, which one of okay, Shalivahan Shak Samvatsar is a Ramavasyanta system. Now, in Purnimanta system, what happens is, if you see in Vikrami Samvatsar and in the first Paksha, because it ends with the Purnamasi. For example, in our Vikrami Samvat, just after Holi, the Chaitra month will start, because after the Purnamasi, the month has ended. But in Shalivahan Shak Samvatsar, the Falgun will continue till Varsha Pratipada. It will continue for one more 15 days, and on Amavasya, the Falgun will stop. Okay, so the Shukla of both the months, whether it's Purnimanta system or Amanta system or Amavasyanta system, is same, but the Krishna Paksha differ. So there is a jet lag, as I always say, jet lag of 15 days between the two calendars. But it has been orchestrated so well that the calendars begin and end on the same day, irrespective of the fact that for Amavasyanta system, the entire Chaitra is in the new calendar, and entire Falgun from entire Chaitra is in the new calendar, that is the new Samvatsar. But for the Purnimanta system, if you see Vikram Samvatsar, half of the Chaitra will come in the older Samvatsar. Samvat, and half of the Chaitra will come in the new Samvat. So then Chandramas, since it's defined by the lunar month, and each lunar month has got two fortnights, so we define in terms of Shukla Paksha and the Krishna Paksha, waxing and the waning month. And then second system, which is very much popular in the southern, especially the tip of the southern regions of India, the three where the three seas meet. You see Makaram 3 2001. So it's a Saur month. Makaram, basically it's the Makar Rashi. Makaram means the sun is residing in the Makar Rashi. You see the 12 Rashis that I just told you. Why it's not flipping? Yeah. So these are the 12 Rashis. So, the sun traverses these 12 Rashi: Mesh, Vrikh, Mithun, Kark, Sim, Kanya, Tula, Vrishchik, Dhanu, Makar, Kumbh, and Meen. I'm talking in terms of Indian terminology. So, at that on January 16th, on January 16th, you see tropical zodiac, you see January 16th editions, it was Makar month. Okay, it was Makaram. I hope you are getting the point. So, and then if you are Nirayan system also, it's January 16th. So the sun is in the Makar. So for 1 month, the sun will be in Makar. So the name month is named after Makaram, then Kumbham, like that Mesham. So in Singham, so like that in that particular tradition, the months are being named after the zodiac over which the sun is residing. And here, the important is not with the Paksha. There is something system known as Samkranti. So Sankranti is basically nothing but the traversal of the sun from one zodiac to another. That is, for example, if the sun is in say Makar and then now it is moving towards Kumbh. So the moment in which the sun is traversing, changing the zodiac from Makaram to Kumbham, from Makar to Kumbh, that is known as Sankranti. So, what is Makar Sankranti? Makar Sankranti means the sun is moving from Sagittarius to Capricornus, from Dhanu to Makar. That is known as Makar Sankranti. I hope you are getting the point. So that is then what is Kanya Sankranti, the Vishwakarma Puja. That is the sun is moving from Simha to Kanya. That particular moment is Kanya Sankranti. So Sankranti is nothing but the transmigration of the sun from one zodiac to another. That marks the beginning of another solar month. So this is an entire overview. So different socio-cultural and religious perspectives. That is our shaded in the green. They basically are using the Vikrami popular Vikram Samvatsar or the Purnimanta system, the blue color. I'm sorry, not green. And then this one, the little you can say muddy color. They are using basically the Purnimanta lunars, that is Amant Luni solar calendar. The yellow ones, West Bengal, Assam, Tripura, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, they are using our this solar calendar. So one India, different perspectives united by different traditions. So that is the month. And this month is not, you can say, an alien concept to the Indian traditions. It very much as it is. If you trace the Vedic period, there is a very, you can say, in Tetri Samhita. It has got a very beautiful shlok. The Madhushch Madhavashch Vasantika Vrittu Shukrashch Shuchishch Grishma Vrittu Navashch Navasashch Varshika Vrittu Ish Jorjashch Sharda Vrittu Sahasya Sahashasya Hemanti Vrittu Tapashya Tapashya Sheshira Vrittu. So, what happens is not only the names of the months are given, but you see the seasons are also defined according to it. So, Madhu and Madhav, they are the seasons of Rituraj Vasant. Similarly, Shukra and Shuchi, they are Grishma, that is summer season. Nav and Nabhasya, these are the original month names in the Vedic period, the Varsha Ritu. Ish and Durj, Urj, they are Sharad Ritu, and Sah and Sahasya, they are Hemant Ritu. And incidentally, the organizer of our NASNI platform is also named after this Hemant Ritu only. So you see how much astronomy has percolated in our culture also. We are naming the people after our astronomy, you can say traditions. Say Tap and Tapasya, they are Shishir Ritu, which is just gone by. So right now, which month we may be, either we are in the Tapasya month or we are in the Madhu month. Just think over it, whether we are in the late winter Tapasya month or whether we have started Vasant month, in the Vasant period of Madhu. So this is the beauty. And I will just like to tell you one more thing. All these 12 months, they are Purnimant months. They are not Amavasyant. Madhu, Madhav, Shuchi, Navanavasya, all these 12 months in the Vedic period, they are Purnimant, that system. The Amavasyan system has been very particularly mentioned for the first time, in particular in the Vedanga Jyotish by Acharya Lagad. We call him as Lagadacharya. And so, the Indian lunisolar calendar, it evolved slowly. So, what really happens is, ki why we should learn to know the lucky months also. Can we observe कि जैसे हम we observe the date in the sky, can we observe the month in the sky? Remember we said Falgun Krishna Paksha. Can we observe Falgun in the sky? Yes, you observe Falgun in the sky. How and why? The reason is explained here. The Indian traditional months are named nothing of illogical, but they are particularly named after the nakshatra, which is basically which the moon is transiting on the particular full moon day. Why the month of Chaitra is Chaitra? मेरा मन आया तो चैत्र ऐसा नहीं है. Why this month? The month we are talking is Falgun. कि मेरे किसी पूर्वज का मूड हो गया था. Some of my ancestors thought let me सो के उठा कि आज से इसका नाम फाल्गुन. ऐसा नहीं है. There is a logic. Chaitra is Chaitra because it's named after on the day the month of which the on the day of the Purnima, if the moon is transiting the Chitra Nakshatra, the 14th Nakshatra, if the Nakshatra that the moon transits over which that particular month is known as Chaitra. आज हमारा month का नाम फाल्गुन है, means on the day of the Purnamasi, that is Holi we celebrate now, moon will be in the backdrop of Uttar Falguni Nakshatra. So from Falguni comes the name Falgun. And very interesting fact, in our Puranas, there are 27 wives of Chandrama that are being mentioned. All the names of these wives, they are after this nakshatra. And you see how the gender has been balanced. The nakshatras feminine in nature, and the months from which the nakshatra are, the names of the months are derived from the months, they are, you can say, masculine in nature. So Magh means that is actually Magh Purnima. That is on the day of the Purnamasi, Chandrama was in Magha Nakshatra. Paush means on the day of the Purnamasi, it was Pushya Nakshatra. You remember our Deva Deepavali, Shri Guru Nanak Jayanti? So it was Chandrama, it is Kartik Purnima. It means Chandrama or the moon is in the Kritika Nakshatra, transiting Kritika Nakshatra. It is in front of that Kritika Nakshatra. So if anybody asks you the astrology of the Indian month, you say, yes, I can show you the month into the sky also. It is that period of the traversal on which you can map the moon transiting a particular nakshatra on a full moon night. That is that particular thing. So if you see mapping of everything, so in reality, the lunar months can be categorized into these four types because I want to keep you updated with regards to anomalistic, sidereal, and synodic. These are the different divisions. And why this synodic period is more? Because so moon will take almost 27.5 days to traverse 360 degrees, but to return to that particular position, even Earth would have moved forward. So to cover up that difference, moon requires about 2 and 2.5 days, approximately 2.25 days. So that is why we have got a month of 30 days. So we see the moon from reference to the Earth in the same position after 30 days because Earth also has a relative motion. So it's a game of mathematics. So you can just explore it. The meaning of anomalistic, nautical, sidereal, and synodic, I just kept it for the piece of information. Now we have something known as Adhika Masa also. The talk of the Indian calendar can never be complete if we don't include two important things, which will be the concluding remark of the day. One is the Adhika Masa, and then another is also coming up. So, what happens is, if we try to see the alignment of the lunar day. So, one cycle of the moon, it is 27 days. And so, if we 30 days like that, if we keep on mapping, because lunar day, it is not exactly 24 hours. So, 12 cycles of the moon, they get completed in almost 354 days. To be, you can say more accurate, it is 354.25 something. So, roughly speaking, 354 days, 12 cycles of the moon, they get completed. But the traversal of the sun around the, you can say, Earth 12 times, or in fact, the revolution of the Earth around the sun, to be exact, it is 365.2564 days. Okay. So, what really happens is there is a difference or a deficit of about 0.9 days. Okay. 0.9 days. So, what happens is the lunar and the solar calendars or the motions, they start to diverge from each other. एक दूसरे से दूर जाने लगते हैं. So anomaly crops up. So what happens is कि एक साल में 365 डेज अगर उसका हुआ 350 डेज हुआ तो रफली 11 डेज का एक डिस्क्रिपेंसी आ गई. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज, तो सेकेंड ईयर अगेन दिस डिस्क्रिपेंसी विल इंक्रीज, थर्ड ईयर अगेन दिस डिस्क्रिपेंसी विल इंक्रीज. तो व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि लगभग लगभग 2.5 साल के बाद, आफ्टर 2.6, पौने 3 साल के बाद, सॉरी, लगभग 2.7 years, आफ्टर 2.7 years, one special 13th month is included with how many days? About 28 to 29 days is there. That is known as Adhik Mas. So that to keep the calendar, that is the lunar cycle and the solar cycle synchronized, कि जितना gap आ गया, whatever gap has cropped up between the sun and the lunar cycle, that gap needs to be adjusted. So after every, you can say, third year, we just tend to observe something known as Adhik Mas. So that is why even after so much discrepancy following the Tithi system, even though Tithi system is strictly based on the motion of the moon, the festivity is really aligned. Now what keeps this alignment? Deepavali कभी भी गर्मी में नहीं पड़ेगी. तो यू नो व्हाई, द रीजन इज, या आपका जो रक्षाबंधन है वो आपका जाड़े में नहीं पड़ेगा, वो वर्षा ऋतु में ही होगा. तो व्हाट कीप्स दिस सीजनल अलाइनमेंट? दिस सीजनल अलाइनमेंट इज पॉसिबल बिकॉज ऑफ दिस अधिक मास सिस्टम, 13 month सिस्टम. तो यू नो दिस इज the difference between the Islamic calendar and the Indian traditions. Islamic calendar, what they do, they first of all they calculate the days separately. वो चंद्रोदय से कैलकुलेट करते हैं फ्रॉम द राइजिंग टाइम. उसकी अलग आप एक लीजिए मैथमेटिक्स है, उनका अलग फॉर्मेट होता है. इट इज नॉट इन डिस्कशन फॉर द डे, वो कभी फिर कभी डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. तो यू नो व्हाट रियली हैपेंस इज दे डोंट डू दिस एडजस्टमेंट ऑफ 11 days. तो अभी आप देखिए कि रमजान का जो महीना है, ईद बेसिकली मैं त्योहार से लेना चाहता हूँ, यू जस्ट ऑब्जर्व ईद. So in your life, you will see the festivities of the Islamic faith. You can say traveling the entire year. कभी आपको वर्षा ऋतु में पड़ेगी ईद, कभी गर्मी में पड़ेगी. Sometimes in winter it will happen, sometimes in spring it will happen, sometimes in autumn it will happen. So it keeps on rotating because there is no form of adjustment of this 11 days discrepancy. I will not say discrepancy, but 11-day difference that happens between the lunar and the solar month. So here in India, we have a concept of Adhik Mas. And you know, Adhik Mas, how do you identify Adhik Mas? So if there is a lunar month which has got no Sankranti, that is Adhik Mas. अगर आपको कोई lunar month है, now this is proper astronomy. ऐसा नहीं है कि ऐसे ही मैंने अधिक मास कह दिया. We put a mass, we put a month such that a lunar month with no Sankranti, or where solar month has got 2 अमावस्या, एक ऐसा सौर मंथ आ जाए कि जिसमें दो दो अमावस्या हो जाए. मतलब सौर मंथ मींस सन इज विद इन द सेम जोडियाक, एक ही जोडियाक में है और उसमें दो दो चंद्रमा आ जाए, यानी बिना संक्रांति के ही 2 अमावस्याएं आ जाएं. या फिर चैत्र वैशाख, ये जो 12 महीने हमारे मून के हैं, उसमें कोई संक्रांति ना हो बीचा बीच में, तो वो आपका आइडेंटिफायर है अधिक मास का. इसका एक ऑपोजिट भी होता है, 6 मास. अवर सीनियर्स who are about, say, about 55 years plus, they may have seen in the era of 6 mass also. Sometimes we lose, not so regular in Indian traditions, you know, but what happens is it occurs in the cycle. In my lifetime, in our lifetime, who are listening today, we are not going to have another 6 month this in our lifetimes. So 6 months does not mean 11 year old month, मतलब 11 month calendar. It means कि एक महीना गायब है, लेकिन 6 मास is categorized by 2 अधिक मास. It has got another astronomy, अपनी ही astronomy है, very beautiful astronomy, कि 1 अधिक मास followed by 0 month followed by another अधिक मास. So again it balances out the thing. But see how complex the calendars can be and how we can interpret the cycle of the motion. Then this is the last thing, because one of those Panchang thing is never come without war. You know, people, they just interpret it, they just say that this war concept is not Indian. I am also not saying, I am also not making any big claim. But you know, what really happens is, if you read Vedanga Jyotish, in Vedanga Jyotish of Lagadachar, because you know, the claim that is made by the people is, if you go through Mahabharata or Ramayana, what really happens is, what was the day on which Lord Ram was born? It is Shukla Navami. War is not mentioned. When was Lord Krishna born? It was Bhadrapad Krishna Ashtami. War is not mentioned. We celebrate also the Tithi, that is our, say, festivals are also on the Tithis, on the Paksha. But war is, you can say, not mentioned. So there is a scholarly debate whether war is an Indian concept or you can say borrowed from the foreign concept. The debate will continue, but as a matter of fact, if you go through the Vedanga Jyotish, you know, you will find a slok, you will find the references without mentioning the days of the names. The movement of the planets in the order of the weekdays. That is Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon. And on this particular thing, the same planetary traditional order, the days are also being named, and it fits very much into the Indian system. So this is a scholarly debate, and there are missing links in the Indian astronomy. So I am not making any bold or big claim, but this is a shlok. That is, Surya Siddhant has got a very beautiful shlok that is beginning from Saturn. Saturn is considered to be the son of our sun, SON of our sun. So Saturn is the slowest moving planet. Slowest means when we perceive in terms of distance, it is known as Mand. And then moving downward in the order, the fourth is the Lord of the day. So, what happens is the entire day has been divided up into horas. That is, and our English word hour, planetary hour, it comes from the Sanskrit word hora only. And what happens is, what we do is we start from the sun's sun, that is Saturn, and we are going down one by one, that is Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun. So if we start from, and we put in this order, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, again Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon. So in this pattern, if we begin with Saturn, Saturn means Shani. What is the fourth one? Fourth one is Sun. Sun means Ravi. Then again, what is the fourth one? Fourth one is Moon. Moon means Som. Chandra means Som. So Shanivar, Ravivar, Somvar, like that. The fourth one is considered as the Dinadipati, that is the ruler of the day. And that particular ruler of the day is, you can say, called as the particular day is named after that particular ruler of the day. So happens is in Indian divisions, the entire divas is different from the lunar day. Okay, and divas means from one sunrise to another sunrise. That is another thing. The entire divas is being divided up into 24 particular units, which is known as hora. Okay, so each hora, what really happens is hora has been given the authority to be ruled by a particular planet. One hora is ruled by one particular planet, and we will see how that particular planet is assigned a hora. So there are 24 horas, and each planet is being awarded a hora on the same basis, same sequence: Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury. That is beginning from the slowest to the fastest. So slowest will be the Saturn, and fastest will be the Moon, because in terms of the decreasing distances. So these are arranged like this. So each hora is being given one planet, and traditionally Moon is also considered as a planet. So that particular planet that rules a particular hora is known as Horapati. And whatever is the Horapati at the sunrise, is known as Dinadipati. And Dinadipati can be found out from this sequence. Arrange them. The fourth one will be Dinadipati beginning from Saturn. So Dinadipati on that particular day rules the name of the day. So this is the logic of the weekday, and it very much fits in the 7 day order. This is proper mathematics, you see. Now, how meticulously it has been defined. If we are beginning with Saturn, then the first hora is the second is Jupiter, Mars, and Sun. So the day next day is ruled by Sunday, that is the Ravivar. And after the cycle of 24 hora ends, again in the same order, Sun, Saturn, like that, it will be Moon. So it will be Mars, that is Mangalvar. So if we follow this, the 7 day week will sequence come naturally. Why? Because we are moving in the steps of 3. So Saturn move 3 steps, you get Sun 3 steps, Moon 3 steps, Mars, and then again in the end you will again cyclically return to Saturn only. This is the way from which that particular Lord of the day comes and the nomenclature comes. So this makes a very, you can say, concise 7 day week system. So this is the way in which the each hora has been arranged. Beginning with Surya, you read down bottom Surya, Shukra, Buddha, Chandra, Shani, Brihaspati, Mangal, Surya, Shukra, Buddha, Chandra, Shani, Brihaspati, Mangal, Surya, Shukra, Buddha, and then again 24th is Buddha, and which is 25th hora. That becomes the first hora of next day. Chandra is the first at the sunrise. So the shaded in the yellow one, it is that Horapati. So the debate is endless, whether it's Indian concept or whether it's an adaptation of the Western concept. If it's Indian concept, it's Indian concept. But if it is an adaptation, it has been very beautifully adapted and very beautifully crafted. So these then two other things, I will not go into details of the Panchangam. Yoga is a combination of the position of the sun and the moon. What we do is, in a particular tithi, we add the longitude, that is the spatial presence of the moon and the spatial presence of the sun, and divided by the nakshatra number, that is integral multiple of 1320, that gives a particular yog. Is half of a tithi. Karna is half of a tithi, that is 6-degree movement, that is half movement of a tithi. And interestingly, Karna is 11 in number. And Lagna means basically it is the ascendant. In Western ecliptic, it's known as ascendant, the intersecting point, where particular sun's apparent path, it you can say crosses the eastern horizons. And all these three things basically they are used in the field of basically astrology or predicting what can be said, the auspicious muhurt or the auspicious timings. So I am not going to detail, but just for the sake of information, that these are the three other things that are being told in our Panchang. So now coming to the winding up of the things. So what happens is, in Indian traditions, the time period for the sun is visible is at Divas. It's not the Tithi, okay? From one sunrise to another, that is where sunrise is Divas. And the time period for the sun is below the horizon is Ratri. And when we combine Divas and Ratri, we get something known as Ahoratra. And one full day or Ahoratra has been divided into 24 Hora. 24 Horas have been divided into 30 Muhurt. So one Muhurt, if we say, we are calculating, you have to just divide 24 by 30. We get 48 minutes. And 48 minutes means 12, 2 ghati. So 1 ghati, that is the 1 of hoti in terms of modern mapping. So this is something, a traditional Indian timekeeping mapped, and we can see it. And the final, you can say, thing that we tend to confuse is Samvatsar with the year. So Samvatsar is not year, Samvatsar is not Varsha. So we always say that Jupiter or Gurudev or Brihaspati is one of those very much prominent thing. Why? Because we celebrate Kum also associated with Jupiter motion and everything. But Jupiter has been very exclusively studied. And what has been observed is Jupiter almost travels one Rashi in 1 year. So you see one Rashi, that division in 1 year, but actually it's not exactly one Rashi. It's, you can say it's little faster. So it's 11.86 years it orbits the sun, not in 12 years. So one Samvat, it will be less than 1 year. Okay. So there you have to be very, very careful. Never ever confuse Samvat with the year. So out of those 12 cycles of the Jupiter, 1/12th cycle of a Jupiter is one Samvat. So one Samvat is 0.9855. So in northern part of India, in the Samvat cycle, 86 Samvat cycle, one Samvat is omitted so that the Samvat cycle is synchronized with that particular solar year. In southern part of India, that omission does not happen. So sometimes there is, you can say, difference in the part, the name of the Samvat I am saying. And accordingly, our ancient people, they have named these Jovian years, the Samvats are here. So on that particular basis, you will find the different Samvat. So Samvat is, why I brought it out, Samvat has got a relation with an extended solar family, that is extended family of the solar system. Means our ancient people, they did not simply map the moon and the sun, they even included planets, and while including planets they studied the Jupiter in, you can say, detail, and on that basis they commemorated the positions of the Jupiter and then in the different places, and on that particular basis they even turned these celestial alignments into festivities. And this is the way in which the things were being calculated and the things were being carried out by our ancient people, our ancient astronomers. So even astronomical happenings, they became a part of the festivity. हम एस्ट्रोनॉमी को एंजॉय करने वाली, आप ये कह लीजिए, कौम है, हम एस्ट्रोनॉमी को एंजॉय करने वाला सिविलाइजेशन है, हम लोगों ने एस्ट्रोनॉमी को जिया है. सो दिस इज ए पर्टिकुलर थिंग. So on that basis, all these things are made. And diversity has been so much. Diversity has been so much that different people, they start their calendar in the different periods of time. Sometimes that is Shalivahan Shak Samvatsar, which is followed in Maharashtra and Andhra, and Purnimant Vikram Samvatsar in UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and northwestern part of India. They begin in Chaitra. Our Chaitra is the first month. So these calendars are known as Chaitradi. If you meet somebody who follows the Buddhism, so there is an important calendar known as Buddha Nirmanira, which commences from Vaishak Purnima or Buddha Purnima. That they have a Vaishakadi calendar. If you go to Kathiawad and if you go to Kutch, so you will find a Samvat that will begin in Ashad. And our Gujarati people, they celebrate the New Year from Deepavali. So Amant Vikram Samvat, sometimes Amant Vikram Samvat is also used. And interesting, Vikram Samvat, that is also Amavasyant. And in Rajasthan, those Jain people, Mahavir Nirvanira, they began their calendar with Kartik. So within one calendrical system also, even though the principles may be same, but the beginning point may be different depending upon the traditions. Somebody may celebrate New Year in Chaitra, in like in UP, my place. They say somebody at the place of our Ananda Hota sir, who is here, he may be practicing solar calendar. Somebody from Adur sir's place may be beginning in Vaishakadi or Ashadadi, and somebody from Gujarat, our Prime Minister's place, Narendra Modi's place, may be starting in Kartik, so it may be Kartik Adi. So such variety, and all are scientific in nature. Important thing is whatever may be the beginning point, but all are scientific in nature. So this is on the basis of the commencement. There is another classification on the basis of the astronomical combinations. We have lunar calendar, like Islamic calendar that we have seen, proper lunar calendar. Then we have solar calendar, sidereal, that is beginning with, that is the reference point is Chitra Nakshatra, that is opposite, opposite to the Chitra, there is Spikas there. Solar calendar, sidereal. Then lunisolar calendar, we have just seen in detail. Tropical solar calendar, even though there is precessional motion known as where Earth precesses on its axis, the precessional motion we all know, all the people here, there is tropical solar calendar. So on that particular basis, there are different types of Varsh also. That is Saur Varsh is there, Chandra Varsh is there, Sidereal Varsh is there, Nakshatra Varsh, Gregorian calendar. All these things basically are there. So this is, you can say, another thing, another time we can keep on discussing. But you know what I just would like to bring to your common mind is this important thing. The cosmic measures of India in Indian traditions, they are not simply limited. The cosmic measures, they are not simply limited to, you can say, minutes or seconds or a particular years. The Indian traditions, we deal in terms of millions and millions of years in cosmic cycles. We deal in terms of Yug, Manvantra, and Mahayug. All these, you can say, varieties are there. And we have tried to scale the cosmos in our ancient system with the different types of systems known as Ahargana and Vakya system. If you go to southern part of India, you will find mnemonics, different mnemonic sentences known as Vakyas, especially in the Kerala school of astronomy and mathematics. We can discuss it some other day. I have skipped a few slides also on the national calendar of India. So, this is a tradition that has been vibrant. See, we have not allowed the knowledge to go redundant with the passage of time. If some Surya Siddhant, for example, it was becoming, you can say, very difficult. So the proponents of the Indian astronomy, they worked out with the Ahargan system. When Ahargan system was becoming more complex, the people from the Kerala School of Astronomy, especially in mathematics, they brought out this Vakya system in the form of mnemonics, so that the astronomical thought process keeps on evolving. And then came the period of Sarani, and again till the modern times of Venkatesh Babu Ketkar and everything. It kept on evolving, and it's our duty. Because why this entire talk in the age of computer science, computer era, when the satellites are there, you know it studying the calendar, it fosters within us the understanding of celestial mechanics. Then it allows us to, you can say, decipher the scientific paradigms. Makar Sankranti, definitely I am keeping it for the end, because it needs to be discussed, and I think all of you know. And then very much important thing is we need to keep our history into time scale. For example, when we are trying to map the time period of Sindhu Saraswati civilization, I am not saying Sindhu Valley civilization, it is Sindhu Saraswati civilization, because now you see the majority of the sites that have been discovered, majority of them are near the extinct Saraswati river. So it is between the valley of the Sindhu and the Saraswati civilization. So when we try to put it into the chronological order, when we try to map the birth of Lord Ram, when we try to map the birth of Lord Krishna, when we try to find the Vedic period, all these things, that is the precessional motion of the sun, the precessional motion of the earth, and all the study of that particular star, the presence of a particular nakshatra, because they have been exclusively given in our epics. If we try to map it up with the softwares and with proper logic and proper interpretation and proper documentation, we can correct our history also. Then it's not that nothing existed before Vikrami Samvat or Shalivahan Shak Samvat. You see, if you go to Kashmir, they have got a very beautiful Saptarshi era. If you go to further northeast, we have got a Manipuri era. How many of us are aware of that? There is from my region, Kannauj, where I belong to, it is Harsha era, which is in vogue now. Then there was an era in the Gupta period also, Chalukya, Simha Samvat. All these need to be explored. That if we, because what happens is, we tend to confuse the timeline of a particular kingdom is being mentioned in that particular era, in that particular thing, in which that particular ruler ruled or that era was followed. And in the process of unification, what really happens is we are trying to mess up the things. So that particular thing needs to avoid that particular thing from an astronomical and historical perspective. We need to explore these eras to make the history in a proper chronology. So the bottom line is to understand the celestial motions and night sky. I request you not to again try to capture my screen, please. Rudraji, please. Rudra Shankarji, please. I am declining you. So make your friends, you make yourself friends with the sky, get acquainted with the nakshatra, seasonal zodiac constellation, know about the direction, and this is the time, because this is the gateway of experiencing the Indian knowledge tradition in a living form, which is Jyotir Vigyan can be your first step. And I have just put it, as an open thing for the all the people. It is for my place where I am sitting right now. Farrukhabad is the district where I am sitting right now, talking to you. See, this is the stellarium sky, and on that basis, you see all the Western names are there. Can we can we look up into the sky where we can go for the Indian traditions? With these words, I just would like to say that one quarter of our knowledge we obtain from our guru teacher, and one quarter from the discussion, and one quarter from the time. So with these words, I hand over the baton to you, because this is a three-dimensional world that we explore in two dimensions with our senses, with the one dimension of knowledge. Thank you. Thanks, Nasni, for giving me the platform.
Thank you very much, Amritanshu, for such a detailed talk on chronometry based upon Bharatiya astronomy. Now I'll invite, and house is open for remarks and your queries also. Dr. Kulkarni, want to say some remarks?
Okay, this is Professor V.C. Chauhan.
Yes, Dr. V.C. Chauhan from Central University, Himachal Pradesh. Yes, welcome. Please go ahead.
Amritanshu Vajpayee, very very nice, बहुत wonderful, बहुत अच्छी talk आपने, very informative and very in quite detail. I'm also into this field because मैं तो थोड़ा सा I used to do particle physics, but for the last 10 years or so, I used to connected with the Indian knowledge system and this and that. I've written also some books on Indian. The detail of astronomical part that you have mentioned is really wonderful. And one thing, what you mentioned is the war, about some debate or something, war. What I could get it, because you don't see this war word anywhere in any other culture.
Yes.
So it's very 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 much Indian, and हम दिनों को बोलते हैं सोमवार मंगलवार, सारा हमारे यहाँ पे कल्चर में है ही है.
Yes.
तो किसी भी दूसरे में जैसे मैंने what I could not find anywhere in any culture this kind of word.
Yes.
So this is one thing. So I think there's no question of debate at the point of the time, because हमें थोड़ा इसको propagate भी करना पड़ेगा उस तरह से, क्योंकि दूसरा जो एक और चीज जो हम डे शब्द भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ, थोड़ा सा मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगा. जो डे शब्द अंग्रेजी में भी जो डे आया, द डे वर्ड, आई थिंक दिस हैज कम फ्रॉम डिराइव्ड समहाउ फ्रॉम देव शब्द. देव अगेन भारत से ही, क्योंकि हम प्लैनेट्स को देव मानते हैं, जैसे सोम देव, है ना. एंड देन रवि को रवि देव देव बोलते हैं, तो देव शब्द से भी आपका डे जो है वो भी वहीं से इस तरह से कनेक्ट हुआ है. जैसे आपने होरा शब्द कहा कि होरा से ये जो है वो आपका आर बना है, तो दिस ऑल वेरी वेरी मच इंडियन. एंड एस्ट्रोनॉमिकली we are rooted and we are the basically the founders of this astronomy to the world.
Yeah.
Indians, our ancestors. So this is what I could add here. And
And
wonderfully आपने सारी चीजें डेज का वीक्स का बताया और इवन दिस months का बताया कि how the 12 months are there. So very much for having scientific foundation. Gregorian calendar आप there is no scientific basis for that. There is no not at all scientific.
yes.
बट चलो चल रहा है, सारी दुनिया इसको फॉलो करती है. बट हमारा अगर पूरा वर्ष देखेंगे आप इंडियन सिस्टम में, तो इट इज कंप्लीटली एंड कंप्लीटली साइंटिफिक, कंप्लीटली.
Yeah.
This is something which I wanted to add.
Yeah.
And one thing I request you, Amritanshu, maybe in future we can have a connection with you. Of course, I want to. आपका एक नंबर, फोन नंबर मिल जाए, और दूसरा ये पीपीटी जो है इसका कॉपी मिल जाए.
Yeah,
Be very
Sure,
thankful.
sure.
I will share the number.
And sir, I just would like to add one more thing. There is
Yes.
a very
Yeah.
power. I would like to add to a very powerful argument to the war thing. If you go to the southern part of India, we say it is Vasar. It is सोम वासर, उसको सोम वासर बोलते हैं. वास उसमें वास करता है. तो जब कोई प्लैनेट किसी में वास करता है, जब जब उसको हिंदी में when we start speaking, it becomes war.
War.
But actual word is Vasar.
Maybe, yeah.
Mangal Vasar. That is the
वास करना वहां
द
पर.
डे इन विच द मंगल रिजाइड्स. तो वो रिसाइड वास
Yeah,
कर
this
रहा
is
है. तो
this is more,
ये
yeah.
बिल्कुल आप ये कह लीजिए कि इंडियन क्रोनोलॉजिकल है. जी जी.
Correct.
और जहां तक आपने क्रोनोलॉजी की बात करी, तो अक्टूबर 8वां है, लेकिन
हाँ
महीना 10वां है,
हाँ,
तो उसका कोई
ये सारा
साइंटिफिक
कभी.
लॉजिक नहीं है. बिल्कुल सर.
That's right. Very quite wonderful.
Yes, Dr.
आज एक्चुअली बाई
Kulkarni is
चांस
also
आए
present.
प्रोफेसर इन हेमंत जी का मेरे को फोन आया. बाई चांस आई गॉट द फोन एंड ही invited me to join this talk, and it was really wonderful. Thank you.
Wonderful talk for Amritanshu to have taken up so many topics. One more topic which I think he had already referred to me, that why we are not yet referring to 13 zodiac sign, which he has mentioned, because the sun remains in Ophiuchus, that is the 13th sign, and we are yet in 12 zodiac signs. So, Amritanshu, can you without much time, can you tell us in a short while how long the sun stays in Ophiuchus?
About 13 days, sir.
13
months. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Arvind.
13 days, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. First of all, let me say a great thank you to Amritanshu Vajpayee ji. Yesterday we had a long talk on that, and what I learned today is that I am extremely ignorant about astronomy, especially Indian astronomy.
Yes.
According to me, NASNI should have made this as the first talk. He actually, ये हो क्या रहा है कि he is Amritanshu ji is making us do some kind of a घर वापसी घर वापसी बना रहे हैं, इसलिए कि हम एस्ट्रोफिजिक्स में खो जाते हैं और सोचते हैं कि हम एस्ट्रोनॉमी कर रहे हैं. Actually, the depth and extent of astronomy is so much that astrophysics appears as a small part of it. Most of the time we are talking about astrophysics and not much about astronomy. I thank him very much. He actually told us that our connection with the universe starts. Our connection with the universe starts with planets and things around us.
Yes.
So he tries to situate us much better. He tells us that as soon as we are born, we are in a cosmological context, and these cosmological contexts govern us or rule us. So I'm very happy to learn that I was so much ignorant about it, and I need to learn a lot from Amritanshu. He had already sent me a link yesterday, and I'm going to read his wonderful talk in terms of whatever he has sent, and I need to learn a lot from him. All that I can say is that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any other comment or question? So I think now I would like to thank Amritanshu for such a detailed. Yes. Arvind, yes, please go ahead. Yes. Yes, please repeat the question. Arvind? I think Arvind is muted now. So I would like to thank Amritanshu for such a detailed discussion and detailed information about our own astronomy, Bharati astronomy, and I would like to. Yes. We can't hear you, Mr. Arvind.
Arvind sir, can you type it? Can you type it?
Please type your question in the chat box.
Thank you to me, especially Indian Vajpayee about astronomy. Especially yesterday we had a long.
I think he is not. He's some mischievous person here. Dr. Arvind has already given. So on behalf of NASNI, I would like to thank all the participants today. Dr. Arvind Kulkarni, Madam Deka, Dr. Anand Hota was also with us, Dr. Bharat Adur and PC Chauhan from Central University, Himachal Pradesh, Madam Amoli and Madam Reshma Desai from Goa University. She also introduced our speaker today, and all the members who have attended today's session. And heartfelt thanks to Mr. Amritanshu for sparing time for NASNI and to give us the knowledge about this chronometry and Indian knowledge system. So once again, thank you very much, Amritanshu, and we will catch you once again later on some other topic. And now,
thank you, sir.
thank you so much, and we sign off from this session. Thank you.